Back to work, man. I'm teaching. I'm not just teaching quantum computing how to work properly and artificial general intelligence to reflect a humble, intelligent human being, but I'm also teaching the scientists that are still manipulating technology, so we're not utilizing technology properly globally, right? So it's really hard work. It's really hard work, man. They said that, after I made that last one, I got that. Natalia, which Grandpa Peter used to call Natalie. Right? Natalia. This poor baby, she out running around looking for a dog. She all scared. It ran back in the house when she she didn't see it. It's America's Funniest Home Video. Yeah, poor baby. She was all running where her little dog went. It was already back in the house. She was running everywhere. Surveillance cameras. These surveillance cameras, you all do this Funniest Home Video and this ring and shit for security and stuff. Now y'all know how I felt my whole life being the person that's in the book of Revelation that stops all debt and trespass for idolatry and usury, so children can be free from human delusions of power and authority and the sin of debt and trespass, extortion, exploitation, manipulation of sexuality through perversion, globally. So now y'all know how I feel. It's been this way for me my whole life, but you guys don't have a bunch of scientists scrutinizing and critiquing and judging everything you do. And I still have that. I make that one for that Natalia, a teenage girl that I talked to yesterday at the store. And you should make every woman feel the value of the soul, and that she should only want and crave the perfect love of the faith of Psalms and the seed of Proverbs, that nothing else is good enough for her and the man that loves her and the children that are produced through their love, right? And so, selling products, having your body be sexually desirable for marketing, idolatry and usury, that's like I used to tell my Natalie in Sierra Vista with her poor mom, don't be like your poor mother has been, to me, a real fun place to put your genitalia up, but a horrible place to put your heart. But that wasn't Amy's fault. That was the Temple of Set Illuminati and military intel and special forces and their Q pervert scientists that are, now they're not jealous of me. Because if they were jealous of me, they would get up and be like me, so they could be better than me, because they could just keep me anonymous and then save all the children and the women of the world from pervert men that use technology to manipulate. But we have also pervert women that are like these pervert men that use technology to manipulate people sexually, because there's a lot of people in the U.S. military that are women that like have sex with women, that like to manipulate people with technology to feel powerful. Like people that are schoolmasters, that if you do the right thing, you'll get promoted to the elites. If you just sexually pleasure me and do what is necessary for me to take care of you. Like Otto Preminger with Dorothy Dandridge, right? And so it happens, but now it can happen with a brown woman with a white woman. And the brown woman being the one in charge of the money, and the white woman needing the money for a disabled child because of producing the child in a club with secondhand smoke and drinking alcohol without realizing that her contraception wasn't working, right? So, which is bad for the body. You shouldn't tell the body that what it needs to do naturally for the souls to have bodies, that it doesn't do it. Okay, we're gonna let the water sit on the fig tree a little bit longer, because they got in a little distress here. I got distracted trying to correct technology and bad scientists from being absolute dysfunctional, selfish perverts. So they're not jealous of me, they're selfish. If they were jealous of me, they'd stand up for the Lord's Prayer, trended globally. It was all Barack Obama, Bill Gates' and Mark Zuckerberg's idea. And we're building tube monorail trains all across the globe. All across the continent. And if a farmer says no, we look at him and say, that part of the field is going to carry food to people that need it, because we need to share the food and not hold it hostage in a silo and try to get rich off of it. Okay, you act like a bitch, I'll slap the taste out of your mouth. Okay, I'm not asking you what we're gonna do, I'm telling you. This is King Solomon's Israel through the faith of Psalms. I'm the heart of Psalms, seed of Proverbs. You act like a bitch, you're gonna get slapped, like the beginning of the recording I had of I Wish by the Platters. They be recording, right? And they had them in the studio. And one of the singers, one of the group members sits there and talks to the lady in the group. He says, you go around playing with people, and she said, you get slapped, right? Then all of a sudden they go into this crescendo. It's like, yeah, I know there's my people that be at a barbecue, in the South and shit, I don't know if they're from the South. I think they migrated from South probably to North, because the way she talked like her people's from the South, and you get slapped, right? And lots of people made an exodus from the South to the North to get away from Jim Crow isms to be destroyed by cities and factories in the North, like painting cars in Detroit and dying within 2 years painting cars in Detroit, and then giving the job to another guy. Says you go around playing with people and you get slapped. I wish for you. I wish that you and I could never part. But that ain't gonna happen if y'all can't live the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs, right? You can't have a holy covenant from cradle to grave like they had in the old days of Malachi and Melchizedek and Adam and Eve, when they lived long, beautiful, healthy lives. Because they understood they needed to do right by nature for nature to be able to do right by them, right? Because they got to do right, and he'll be your guiding light. And I'm not a soap opera, and I don't ever want to be one. And I remember my sister started watching those, and the storylines were horrible. I was like, can't we watch cartoons or Spider-Man or Electric Company or Zoom so I can watch neither, faster than a rolling O, more higher than a capital T. It's a word, it's a plan, it's Letterman, right? It was better than watching people wanting to all have sex with the doctor, and the doctor was having sex with everybody, and everybody was still wanting to have sex with the doctor, and it's like... Like suns through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. And these poor women being stuck in these mundane lives and living in the gossip that they always thought was happening next door that they never knew about, because they don't work for NASA or the FBI or the Central Intelligence Agency. Boy, yeah, all wanting to be Jamie Lee Curtis married to that dumbass Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Tom Arnold being his top operative. Dumbasses. They is, man. And these people, they be crazy. You sit there and you tell them about the Gospels, and you explain to them the Gospels, and they say, no, that already happened. No, Muhammad is the last proof. There are no more proofs of faith in God and of the living example of Job or Jonah or Hud. No, they do not exist anymore. They're just men, like Saladin. Saladin was just a man. Okay, did you get up and protect Jerusalem from men that were murderers and rapists and putting crosses on their shields and murdering and raping in the name of Jesus Christ, and do it with tears on your face, and go and cry and ask for forgiveness from the Spirit of the Lord that he couldn't teach them to live the Lord's Prayer either, and that it devastated him? Oh, but no, he was just a man. Saladin was just a man. And he was not from the line of David or Solomon, and he was not the Messiah. He was just a man. Okay, wow. The man that did that is way more a man than you, so what makes you think you are capable of judging his worth? I'm the Messiah. I tell you people's worth. You listen. I tell you you can do better. You tell me thank you for believing in me, and then you get up and prove it to me. If you can't prove it to me, you don't believe in me, you don't believe in God, you have no faith in God, and stop calling God him, because him is acting like a bitch and him is you, right? Don't come in front of me in my own hometown. Don't send people from the Middle East that say they come from a Muslim nation to talk to the Messiah and try to correct the Messiah with a book that you use for murder. Do you understand me, Iran? Do you understand me, Iraq? Do you understand me, Egypt? Do you understand me, Jordan? Do you understand me? Do you understand me, Persia? Do you understand me, Arabia? Do you understand me? Do I make myself completely transparent? Am I so simple to understand that you cannot question a command that I give your technology? That I tell your quantum computing to do? That I tell your data centers what to do? I know you have data centers. You have high-speed rail, Morocco, right? It's a source of national pride. Keeps everybody on the same page, thinking the same things, thinking the same way, making us all feel and appear as if we are as beautiful as the inventors of our mind rape through technology. Okay, don't ever come here and expect to have somebody insult me when I'm trying to save his family, his women, and his children from his ego he's been given by his bastard of a father and a grandfather. Okay, I'm gonna put two horses together in a pen. I'm not going to put her into a rape stand. I'm going to leave and say what Saladin's father said through his faith that he didn't completely understand, but he tried to. Allah decides, let's go eat. Okay, do you understand? Okay, so every woman should feel her worth. And if you don't make her feel her worth, you're a big, swollen, muscle-bound pussy face that wouldn't stand up to perverts in the Mesilla Valley or Cochise County that have a job that sends little girls that go to Western Union with their dad back to be Mexico, to be raped to death in brothels in Mexico, to provide to the Sicaro movie industry. Okay, so tell Josh Brolin he is a ball sack guy, and his face might as well be purple if he can't get his mother-in-law to recognize me, his stepmother to recognize me publicly, because my mom was one of her biggest crazy fanatics, right? Barbara, why'd you leave the country? You think those bitches in other countries are better than the bitches in this country? Girl, what was you thinking? Memories light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were, right? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember, like my wife being sexually groomed by the Temple Set Illuminati and Special Forces in Cochise County and everywhere we went, and affecting her oldest daughter who tried to protect me, and come between those perverts and my wife. Natalie sat and watched in the other room as Brad Barnett, a Special Forces man, sat and talked her into masturbating with him on the computer while Natalie and Noah sat and watched cartoons in the next room. Natalie told me about it at our doctor's visit. 7-year-olds don't make this up, right? I come home and question Amy about it. I leave home, Amy goes up in the bedroom feeling betrayed and distraught because she's trying to get a hero to keep her kids safe because her husband's a pussy. Right? He doesn't kill people in foreign countries for money, and when he was in the military, all he did was flush toilets and deliver meals. Because all the people that kill people for money, okay, couldn't talk him into it, and they're still too fucking terrified to come to his face and say, I'm sorry, you were right, I was wrong. I'm a bitch, you're a man, right? You provided little girls to get raped to death for money till the COVID. And then during the COVID, most people wouldn't pray to rape them to death because they couldn't afford to keep them and feed them and keep them healthy enough for fucking. They chose to kill a lot of them and restock after the COVID. And after the COVID, the military prevented them from restocking to correct the bad brain activity in close proximity to me, so I couldn't get technology to isolate, contain, and terminus their business operations. They can do it far, far away from me, like Indonesia or China or wherever, but they can't do it as much here in the Valley of Rio Grande. They got rogue people that still do it because they like it so much. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that like it so much are the helicopter pilot for Josh Brolin on the Sicario movies. You got dick disease? You are one. Okay, you're pretending to be something that you're not for money. You are the dick disease you're pretending to be for money. You are what you do. To commit the sin in the mind is the same committed in the flesh. So when you commit it in the mind, you replicate it in the flesh for money. Congratulations, you're a murdering pimp with a dick disease that raped girls to death in brothels in Ciudad Juarez, in Nogales, in Agua Prieta, in Tijuana, where women do that thing with the beer bottle, where they get naked, do the splits over a beer bottle, do a rollover somersault, and leave the empty beer bottle on the stage, putting alcohol into her reproductive organs, because that woman doesn't want to have your baby because you're disgusting and you're nothing like the Messiah Earl. Hi, I happen to be gorgeous. I look like Uncle Fester and feel like Uncle Fester and have melanoma spots on my shins because special forces and swollen bodybuilders act like pussies and won't recognize a man if you walked up and kicked them in the dick so hard they couldn't walk anymore. Or they were on America's Funniest Home Video and dad was holding the door open, kid punched him in the nuts and he goes, "Hey, come on," he says, "you hit me right in my boys." Right, well, make sure that your boys are worthy of protecting girls from your boys, or you're gonna have a bunch of bitches trying to act like men, got all kinds of muscles, all kinds of supplements, all the best health food, fucking all the right places, fuck all the right people, but do it all the wrong time, all the way, every day. It's been this way since before the crucifixion, and it's been this way after. But now that I performed what's necessary to redeem the crucifixion, you're all NFL, it's not for long, right? Kick a 75-yard field goal. It still ain't gonna make you great. Throw a 85-yard touchdown pass from the 5-yard line and a man catches it at the goal line. Still doesn't make you great, okay? Stand up for the Lord's Prayer and save children from your delusions of grandeur. Makes you humble and makes you perfect like Job, Jesus, and me. You want to meet Muhammad? You want to talk to Muhammad? Come talk to Earl, all right? I'll cuss you out, rip you to shreds. If you can't take the circumcision of our heart, put it back in your chest, free the soul from the mind, and be a man like me, all right? You don't get good manners until you live the truth of my peace. Muhammad said that. When you submit to faith in God and you obey the commands of Lord Jesus Christ, then you have good manners and you're capable of telling other people, hey, you're out of line. We don't say fuck around here. We're living the Lord's Prayer. We don't say shit around here. We're living the Lord's Prayer. Please pick up the excrement from the cow, move it into the flower beds. Thank you. Namaste, right? Please don't cuss when you hurt yourself in front of the children or the old ladies. That car does not need to be driven. Stop working on it. If it's making you angry, we'll work on it tomorrow. All right? We have plenty of vehicles. You don't have anywhere to drive because you're not in the proper state of mind to be driving anything. Right? Manners. Namaste. Right? Respect people. Respect their language. Respect their religion. If you don't respect their religion, if you don't respect their language, how do you expect them to respect yours? Okay? Life is eternal, grace is infinite. When I quote scripture to people, I'm not talking about your book from your tribe that murders over idolatry with usury. I'm talking about every story from every people that is given life by the glory of God. I went through great measures to explain to that young man. I sat there and I said, okay, don't tell me that Hood is not the line of Melchizedek. Slap. Life is eternal and grace is infinite. Don't tell me that Saladin is not the line of David and Moses. Slap. Grace is eternal, grace is infinite, and life is eternal. A woman that is loved is always a holy grail for the Ark of the Covenant. A woman that understands love accepts nothing less than the love of the Ark of the Covenant from the Holy Grail. Slap! Life is eternal, grace is infinite. Tell me that your religion is the only religion. Tell me that your God is the only God. Slap! You're not God. God is omniscient and omnipotent, the God of all. Salute, thank you. The God of all creation. Human beings, I told him that too. Human beings cannot create. They can merely manipulate and invent. And they've become enamored with their inventions. Their book is an invention from manipulation to turn God into him. And God is never a he. For with the creation of man, man needed woman for he to continue to worship God. Not he, not she, not we. God, the source of we through he and she. Right? Man, I'm tired of you assholes. Hey! Come on, NASA. Come on, White Sands. Teach me another lesson. I make a video, you teach me a lesson on social media. I compliment the beauty of the soul shining through a 19 or 18-year-old girl's eyes at the store, and you tell me, hey, these two women are more age appropriate for you. You really think Natalia, Vega, and Amara, you think those two girls... By the way, I like your hair, the natural hair color, like I do mine. When I hair colored, I got psoriasis and chemicals coming out my body like the melanoma on my leg because I was chemically poisoned with the poor people at the soup kitchen to diminish the surplus population. Military was teaching me a lesson that the poor people won't stand up with you because they're cowards. And what does that make the Special Forces people and the NASA people in Las Cruces? Doesn't that make you a bigger coward because you can stand up and be heard more than the poor people at the food donation centers and the soup kitchens? They don't trend online. They don't have everybody tell them, you're in control of all the communications for philanthropy globally. You can change the world instantly. You sacrifice all so we can be free. Freedom isn't free. If freedom isn't free, why is the word free? And why is there freedom through living the truth of the word? Okay? If you have to murder other people for money to pay the devil to live here, how do you consider that freedom? You're in a wheelchair for a reason. You're a wounded warrior being honored by usury and idolatry and philanthropy for a reason, okay? Hey, Brolin from, am I turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Pistachio disguisey? Come on, man. Tell your wife. Stand up for your cousin, Marianne. Kramer. That means Jewish peddler. That means they migrated away from Jerusalem, Rusline. That means she's related to Barbara Streisand, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Adam Sandler. Who else? Jerry Seinfeld. Who else? Is there no one else? Is there no one else? Ben Stein's money. No, we're not related to Ben Stein's money, but we are related to Ben Stein. Yeah, we've got a few Herods and Caiaphases in every family. Right? Bueller. Anyone? Voodoo economics. Okay. I'm Ben Stein. I approve this message. Please support high-speed rail in California from Merced to Bakersfield. Why? Because the chilies from Bakersfield, don't they grow pretty much the same things at both towns? Right? Isn't that kind of redundant? Don't LA and San Francisco need more of the vegetables that they have a greater capacity to grow in Merced and Bakersfield? There than here, or here than there? So isn't it kind of redundant connecting two environments that are mostly farming communities? If their products aren't going to, why didn't you explain that to the farmer? Hey, dumbass with the money in the tractor, in order to sell out your products to the peoples in LA's and San Francisco, and you know how much fuck money they have in San Francisco's and the LA's? Yeah, to sell your salsas at $13 a bottles, you have to have the high-speed rails for the taxpayers to pay for it till you make money off the egomaniacs of the bitches who sell, you know, shit that is designer and Gucci, Fucci, Pucky, Fucci, Lucci, Pucci, La, right? Come on now, baby, come on now, baby, come on now, baby, come on. Right? Why every Indian want to be the chief. You feed a man till he full and he still want beef, right? Because he's a greedy little bastard. And not every Indian wants to be the chief. Saladin did not want to have to protect Jerusalem from the Christians. He wanted the men that were the mullahs that wanted to be in charge to be able to be in charge and live the ways of Muhammad and Jesus, like him. He wanted to study animals to teach them true religion and not give them false religion based off of science and evidence and not off of fantasy and magic afterlives. Fairy tales for bitches that believe in dragons and unicorns, right? Earl, I got an attitude. I'm tired of going to bed alone. I'm tired of waking up alone. I do have cats, 3 of them. Thanks to my sister Patrice. We only had 1, but I really like these 2, man. They're really good at keeping the rats and everything away from the place. They're low maintenance. They're funny. I ain't petted one of them yet once. I ain't touched one of them. Period. Okay. We've had them for 2 months now. I ain't touched neither one of them cats because they don't want to be touched. They like that country song, you know, from my humble point of view, she don't love nobody. And you're like, yep. They funny, they crazy, but I like them both. And Element don't act like he knows his name, so I always say, Ellie meant to do that. Ellie meant to do that. You know, like Ellie from the Clampets, you know, Ellie meant to do that. But Mr. Butters, I say, Mr. Butters, he pops his head out the irrigation pipes that we have laying right there on the concrete. And he looks out at me and says, you know, you can come up on the patio, sleep anytime. Don't get scared off, you know. Come into the house any time of the day. It's 100 degrees outside. You got a perch in the cat room with an air conditioner going right down on it. You know, I tell them all the time. Betsy, I think, wants to meet you, and I think she likes you because you don't hiss at her and you're very submissive and nice to her. She likes men that are like that. She don't like men that go. She don't like Element. Element says, she said, I'm going to kick your ass. I told him that too. I said, man, dude, this is Betsy's house. And she don't want no attitude. If you come at her with attitude, she gonna adjust it. She's a coon cat. You know, he's a Tabby, yeah. He gets his attitude adjusted every time she goes in the yard and smells him going around in his places. And I said, he's just trying to tell everybody that he lives here and he's got protection from the guns in the safe and the men that run off the coyotes and the hawks and shit, you know, with the 30-30 with the bird shot out, you know, saying you come kill the cats. I'm going to have to stop you. You know, I tell them, yeah, they listen. I didn't tell that hawk. I didn't know. If I'd have known, you know, I would have told him and Sly would still be with us, more likely. Yeah, he probably still would. But, you know, when I looked at the situation, Dad told me that he saw that hawk going across our blacktop. Well, it's not blacktop, it's gravel top now, which I don't want to get it replaced. I don't like blacktop. I like gravel better. But he'd be coming down. I went across. I said, yeah, that's probably what got him because it was a cloudy day and he didn't even see it coming. But I didn't feel bad because Sly has eaten more than his weight in birds. So if a bird ate him at 17 for 16 or 17 years, how many birds did Sly eat? You know, he ate more than. Sometimes he ate more than one a day, depending on the season, right? Especially lots of doves. And so that was his favorite. And so, yeah, so, you know, when that hawk swooped down and got Sly, I bet you the doves in the yard were like, it's about time, yeah! And you're like, man, nature is rough. Love nature, no, respect nature. Have faith in God, love one another. Honor thy neighbor by respecting nature, having faith in God, and loving one another. I'm not a dumb preacher that thinks money's real and giving money from the Romans to your neighbor is loving thy neighbor. I ain't that fucking stupid. I got relatives in Texas, but I sure the hell don't fucking act like them. My mom took me in her body and had Dad go in the Ford pickup truck. and drive all the way from El Paso to Las Cruces to give birth to me in Las Cruces. And she told me my whole life that was my gift to you, Earl, because in Texas they told me that Mexicans weren't family and blacks weren't family, and I was a damn Yankee, and I was proud to tell them that my father and all his family fought for the North during the Civil War to set people free from slavery. And they called me a damn nigger lover and spick lover and a Yankee. So she went into the pool and she got the blonde girl that told her that, and she kicked her ass in the pool so hard that the lesbian coach tortured my mom trying to get her to win the Olympic gold medal. My mom stopped going because her hair was turning into spaghetti and her eyes were turning bloodshot red like a vampire. And she said, "I'm not destroying my body so you can win a damn gold medal." Same thing I told Coach Treviso and Oliver and Kaufman at Las Cruces Mayfield High School. I'm not going to hurt somebody else's child because it's within the rules of your damn basketball game, so you can get a job at New Mexico State making a hellified lot more money coaching kids to hurt each other for your bank account. And he got mad at me. "You're an arrogant son of a bitch. You think you're so high and mighty and self-righteous. There's nothing self about my righteous, and there's nothing righteous about you. So when you're seeing somebody as self-righteous, you're seeing yourself saying it's okay to hurt other people's children for your paycheck. If you act like a bitch, you're going to get treated like a bitch." Just like Bobby Schuller talking shit about the Buddha. He got his ass kicked, and he deserved it. Don't ever talk shit about the Buddha in front of me. Okay? I'm the Messiah and I watch TV. You send letters to my dad with your face on it asking for money for the Gospels. I am the Gospels, and I've never asked for money from them. I've only asked people to stand up for the freedom of the Lord's Prayer for children and families worldwide. So don't come here and act like a bitch and expect me to smile on your face and tell you how beautiful you are. Those two women, Natalia and Amara, are real fun to look at. But are they strong enough to stand up for a living Messiah and then meet Jennifer Lopez and the little girls on RJ Decker and tell them, "Why didn't you stand up for him? Did you know who he was? Do your business partners that make these crime stories for genocide through philanthropy and dysfunction for genocide through philanthropy know who he was?" These people are multi-millionaires. Some of them connected to these shows Hulu are billionaires. They should know who the F I be. I've kicked every major corrupt philanthropist that calls himself a world leader or a successful scientist that solves all our problems with technology and money, or so they say. Kicked all their dicks to the back of their pelvises and slapped all their vaginas shut when they asked for money to fuck. I've been doing it since they put me on social media back in June 2009 in Cochise County, Arizona. Yup. Okay. She's cute. She got food in her mouth, and she's so cute. They're so cute, the poor little kiddos. All I wanted to do was eat something sweet and not get in trouble for it. Stop being mean to me. I'm a little girl. I like to eat. I understand. I'm very much the same. It's like Judy Tenuta and Catholic aerobics, you know? Catholic aerobics. Stand up. Sit down. Eat something. Now feel guilty. Now burn in hell. Remember all the gay kids from Brophy with the girls from Xavier at Christown that used to come in and ask us to play Judy Tenuta and walk around the store and die laughing? Well, they were dying. We're all dying from birth. But they were just thought, this is great. She's so funny. Judy Tenuta, the giver, goddess, healer of hermaphrodites. She was so stupid. Oh, Buddy was a bisexual from Syracuse, New York. He loved it. He was raised Catholic. He played it for me and Steve. We're like, this chick is dysfunctional as hell. But damn, she's funny. She's as funny as Roseanne Barr. And she got compared to Roseanne Barr because she was abrasive. She said, "I'm not Roseanne, I'm not Blowzanne." She called her Blowzanne. And I was like, hey, man, Roseanne is who she is, and she's the chubby girl from the trailer park in Salt Lake, Utah, and you the obnoxious Catholic girl from like New Jersey and shit. But you both sound alike, but one's, pleasantly plump and one's not. Okay, it's freaking crazy. As long as you're healthy and happy, that's all that matters. What's beautiful is what we do. And when you're faithful, you're beautiful. And when you're not faithful, you can try as hard as you want to be beautiful. You're not. And being unfaithful and not wanting to live the love of the Messiah is not healthy. So all those swollen men you hang out with at the gym, grab them by the balls, look them in the eye, say you can make them feel pain, tell them stand up for the Lord's Prayer, or you are an ugly little bitch with a lot of muscles. I love you, all right? Peace out, man. Hey, you know I'm gorgeous and I always got to be and I'm always going to be. Thank you. You're welcome. We are what we do, people. We're judged by our deed. Jesus is more beautiful, and I'm like Jesus, than anybody that thinks their physical body that is fit for fucking is healthy, right?